Hello everyone and welcome to AceOSCE's video for today. I, Alicia, am back with another video. Thanks for joining me for this one as well. This video is going to be a little bit different than the EE videos that I usually post on Facebook. In addition to my Facebook group, we also have a YouTube channel where I focus more on OSCE and a few questions for evaluating exams. I do help people prepare for their OSCE as well, and there are some people in our Facebook group as well who want to prepare for the OSCE. And for everybody who's preparing for their evaluating exam, you are eventually going to be giving the OSCE, so this is going to be a good eye-opener video for you. I'll be giving a few tips and tricks as to what I faced in the OSCE per se. So just answering some of the FAQs in the PEBC OSCE exams. I'm hoping this video is going to help you out with that. Just a quick overview of the exam as well. So in the pharmacist qualifying exam part 2, which is the OSCE, it consists of 13 examination stations. Out of these 13, there are going to be 10 interactive stations. There's going to be 2 non-interactive stations where you just have a written case where you'll not have any person coming into the room to assess you, and 1 pre-test station, which means that's going to have no bearing on your exam results. It is just a pre-test question, not scored, but you do not know which one it would be. It can be an interactive, it can be a non-interactive one, so therefore you want to do your best on all of the stations. Just make sure that in addition to these 13 stations, there would be about 2 rest stations as per my memory, so there will be a total of 15 stations. Now, stations are set up in individual rooms, or there may be some screens that are dividing the same room into other smaller rooms so that you can have 1 case per room. Each of them is timed with a 7-minute time limit. You may be instructed to perform only specific components of patient care or dispensing process, such as taking down a medication history, evaluating the appropriateness of a prescription, resolving a drug therapy problem or checking dispensed medication, counseling, or providing follow-up. You do want to make sure that there will be an assessor inside the room, so you are very clear and concise in your communication with the patient. Because if you're not clear and concise and your thinking is not very clear, the assessor will not be able to assess your performance. They will not be able to understand why you are doing a certain thing or taking a certain action or how you're providing patient care. So it is really important to hone your communication skills. This is a very easy diagrammatic representation of how an OSCE station works per se. You usually start the exam, your exam in an exam station or a rest station. Stations are numbered and you follow them in a numeric order. The timing signal system tells you when a station starts, when there are 2 minutes remaining in the station, and when the station finishes and you must move to the next station. So once your station finishes, you have 2 minutes to exit the door and go on to the next numbered station. Then each station has a door note which is hanging outside the door of the station. You have about 2 minutes to read that door note and prepare yourself for that station. Usually if it's a patient-centered case, it will say a patient is coming to you. If it's a doctor case, it will specify that a doctor is coming for your recommendation, or vice versa. There'll be something or the other written there. Once the bell rings, you're able to go inside the room and you have about 20 seconds to give the OSCE provided barcode to the assessor so that they can assess your performance. And you have within 20 seconds, you have to go through quickly the references and any sort of patient profile if that's given to you in your OSCE station, which will be provided in the table in the OSCE station room. So you have about 20 seconds before the actual person comes in case it's an interactive station. And once the patient comes in, you of course interact with them, see what is the case, how you can solve solve the patient's concern, how you can resolve it and make them feel comfortable and give them a good pharmaceutical knowledge. At 5 minutes, you'll hear the bell, which gives you a little bit of an indication that the case is about to close. One quick thing that I wanted to let you guys know about is that you can only write down on the following materials provided by the PEBC. That's the candidate notebook that you're given in the OSCE station date, and the candidate feedback questionnaire that you're given at the end of your OSCE exam, which I'll be letting you know a little bit more about at the end of this video. You do want to make sure that you do not write anything on the references that are provided to you in the OSCE stations, and all of this has to be returned back to the OSCE people. One more FAQ that I've been asked a lot is about the references that you're provided. Now, please make sure that references are provided in some stations only, when they are deemed essential in allowing candidates to meet the objectives of the station, that is of the solving problem. References are not necessarily provided when the station is based on knowledge and skills that candidates are expected to possess at entry to practice. So please do not assume that every station you get will have some sort of reference. Here, your knowledge is being tested in addition to your communication skills, your empathy skills, your patient care skills, so that the assessors can see if you have entry to practice knowledge to become a pharmacist. So keep this thing in mind. Make sure that you are comfortable with this. In terms of the examination day schedule, in the first 30 to 60 minutes, there is admission and registration. The next 60 minutes has a demonstration of the timing signals, washroom breaks, plus any wait time. The first 90 minutes has the first half of the exam, after which is a 20-minute mid-session break, which is in addition to the rest stations. The second half of the exam is again 90 minutes, and then you have 30 to 90 minutes in the sign-out and sequestering time. Another FAQ that a lot of people ask me is when they should be taking the exam or where they should be taking the exam. Now, I'm in Ontario right now, so there's University of Waterloo and University of Toronto. So a lot of people were telling me when I was taking the OSCE exam to not give my exam in these stations, in these areas like Toronto and Waterloo, because I will be then competing with University of Toronto, University of Waterloo students, whose OSCE performance may be a lot better than mine because they're Canadian graduates and everything. But again, this is according to me and me alone. I feel like if you know your OSCE well and you've prepared well and your communication skill is okay and you're confident in yourself, it doesn't really matter where you are giving the exam. As long as the location is easy for you to access, because you do understand that this is a long exam, you may need to be there for a few hours. You do want to make sure that you're not going too far away. So you don't have to, take too much attention as to how you're going to get there, what you're going to eat, where you're going to stay. So just make sure that you're going over there where it's easy for you to go ahead. Of course, this is again according to myself. If you feel more comfortable going to a different city, definitely your choice. Just wanted to let you know. One last thing I wanted to let you guys know is at the end of the examination, you will be given a candidate feedback questionnaire. In case there's any station in the PEBC that you found particularly hard, or you could not understand, or where there was some sort of problem of any case at all, you must report or describe that incidents which may have affected your performance in the PEBC OSCE in this candidate feedback questionnaire. If you do not write it or you do not express this problem, PEBC will not consider anything that you report later. So like after 3 days you realize, oh my god, I messed up that station because the reference wasn't clear, or the reference was too long, or the patient who had come to me wasn't speaking very well, so I couldn't understand the case very well. PEBC will not consider it. However, if you had any doubts or any problems while you were doing your OSCE, write it down in that candidate feedback questionnaire and PEBC will probably consider it, especially if multiple people in one assessment center face the same problem. I hope this video kind of gives you guys a little bit of an insight into how the OSCE system works, and I've answered a few questions that I got on my YouTube and Facebook regarding the OSCE as well. In addition to evaluating exam classes and mini-mocks, I also help people to prepare for their OSCEs. So definitely get in touch with me if you want a few reference classes or maybe some mini-mocks for OSCEs, or even just prepare with me once, twice, or even thrice a week for your OSCE cases to improve your performance. Reach out to me on any of these platforms listed on the screen and have a good one.